energy for the full moon in Taurus. We're burning that midnight oil. I wanted to come to you guys and give you the update, although I'm connecting them in with your zodiac signs, but you're going to be quite different this month. I'm starting to do some quality systems so that I can actually release a heck of a lot more videos. So if I'm not as present at the moment, it is temporary, and it is so that you guys can get more creative content, especially moving into 2021, where it will become weekly forecasts. So I'm moving into a new format, so bear with me with that. But if I can do it in the way I'm attempting to, as I said, it will mean you guys are going to get your moon energies, your weekly astrology forecasts, your chakra updates inside of them, as well as your house placements and what's coming up. And then separately, I will do deep romance reads. So at the moment, I have been fiercely burning the midnight oil, trying to get things in order, and I wanted to come to you guys and talk to you about the Taurus moon. Obviously, because I have been sitting here over the last 2 weeks really doing a lot of the astrology. Hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks, I'll have the whole 12 months for all zodiac signs, and I can really spread them out and go, heck, what's going on? And that's really what I'm wanting to head towards, so I can see themes coming up, retrogrades, direct, and things to that degree. Now, although we're having the full moon in Taurus, it is making an axis to Uranus and Taurus and Scorpio. So what does that mean? Potential purges, I'll be honest with you, but it's a lot of us already are having that energy. We've still got Mars retrograde, we've got Aries and Chiron retrograde. Things to do with our health can be coming up with the second house placement in a collective sense. Because the second house placement can also be the things you consume, and Taurus is a Venus energy as well. So the luxuries in life that you have, especially with Scorpionic energy coming through with that transit, especially moving into November, what you'll find is it's pretty heavy for 2 weeks. Heavy in a sense of you're going to have a lot of clarity. You can be moving through slight adversities with a lot of squaring aspects, but it's going to get you to a place where you can see what is and what isn't working, who's with you, who's not, how you can see things, really tapping into your psyche to get you back on a correct path. Now, a lot of things in different countries at the moment going on, which you can see playing out in astrology. So it should ease off in an energetic sense by about mid-month. But in the meantime, it's quite pivotal. I do know that, you know, even looking at the astrology at the moment, we are going to be having next month the eclipse in the 3rd house, which is Mercury energy. It's communication, and definitely to do with the election and things to that degree. There can be some things that are quite hidden until Mercury goes direct. It can be very confusing, and it can be, again, everyone knows what Mercury retrograde is. One of the most well-known energies. But it really takes on a different form when it does have Scorpio connected to it. So because we have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, it can be hidden secrets, things being exposed, and that can be collectively in our own life as well. Now, I will go, let me have a look. Where is me charts? Bear with me. I'm going to go zodiac by zodiac, and no fashion order, so that you need to listen to the video. Okay, so there is the access for each one. I'll start with Leo. Now, Leo, you guys, let me see. Big things to do with your home can be coming up. Now, remember, your zodiac signs, when they're uploaded, they're going to be in a format of an intro. They're going to be going house by house into your romance, what planet's going retrograde, what planet's going direct, what to expect. And then I'm doing energy of romance, how you can deal with it, what subject matters can be coming up. I'm sorry if the table's bouncing. You name it, it's going to be covered. Your money, your finance, your career, your love life, major themes coming through in your chart. So this will be mentioned, but I'm going to go over it again to prepare you prior to those uploads. So for Leo, We do have the South and the North node in your chart, which still, with the Gemini moon next month, will be hitting it. And even though we're having the Taurus moon, it is towards the end of the month. Hi, Dal. It is going to resonate for most of the month. So they can be themes, and you really want to know around this time of the Taurus moon, check the themes. They can come in different shapes and forms. It can be to do with your finances. It can be to do with needing to repair something, needing to replace it, having a hunch. It also can be to do with paperwork, taxation, money, give and take in connections. With Mars retrograde at the moment, the yin and yang effect of things, we can be more fatigued at the moment, where we are really burning, like I'm doing, that midnight oil trying to get things done. And that time management is going to be crucial, especially with the fatigue energy. It's really important to try and take time where you can, and quality systems, so to speak, are going to be deeply important. So for Leo, you guys have Scorpio in your 4th house, and you have the energy of Taurus on the axis of your 10th house. Let me look at the collective. So with your assets, with the food you're eating, you guys could be looking, and look, 2nd house can be self-esteem as well for collective energy. So our self-esteem, our emotional involvements with things, our connections, they can be huge things that are coming up at the moment. So with the 10th house, your career, you could be looking at it and thinking, gosh, I've really got to tie up loose ends. I really need to, if I'm not working, look at what I'm going to do. What creative endeavor can I be moving towards? With the finances in the future and the energy moving forward, what can I do to stabilize that energy? Is it the frequency of upskilling with the nodes in Sagittarius? Is it looking at something different where you can energetically shift that frequency around? Now, there can be much instability, which is the axis of Scorpio. What do you need to balance in order to have that work-life balance? It could be subjects to do with children and home and daily routine and your psychology surrounding things. Has there been a lot of arduous energy and really feeling like you're doing something alone? So those subjects for you guys can be coming up. Really balancing it, you'll probably find in the first week it's going to be really triggering. Please trust in yourself and understand that you can achieve the best. For all of us collectively, it's going to be tough. There will be heart chakra activation that month. But again, I am mentioning the chakra systems inside each zodiac and what to be mindful of, and I'm going to be doing that each month. Virgo, you guys have the axis of, where are we? Scorpio in the 3rd and Taurus in the 9th. Spiritually, there might be something that's transforming in you. If you're needing to complete tasks, there can be things to do with siblings, children, education. What else? Foreign countries, your travel, where you're wanting to be. Now, this could also pertain to paperwork. The paperwork energy, if you've got hopes and dreams and aspirations, especially with the energy of Sagittarius being in the South node, it's what you're going to do at this point to actually take things further. This can also be replacements of electrical items and vehicles. So make sure that you have your services and everything in order. But at the same time, especially with Scorpio, it's looking at the bigger picture of communication. You can really be reflecting back and looking at things and trying to bring it in, and really having to intuitively gauge both where you're at and other energies in a sense of marriages, contracts, partnerships. So main themes can be, do you need to upskill? Is there something I can do? But it's really tying up loose ends, and it's taking stock of where you were before and where you want to be moving forward. Libra, you guys have the 2nd house placement of Scorpio and the axis of Taurus in the 8th. Hi, True Heart. Hi, everyone. So with Libra, lots is changing with the energy of communication. It can be deeply intuitive. It can be non-traditional. You may be looking at, again, siblings and having to be cautious with communication style. But at the same time, your energy and your diet can be changing at the moment. So hunch energy within your health. And all of us collectively at the moment, especially with Aries and Chiron, do need to pay careful attention to health with Mars retrograde. We can be more accident prone, and it can relate to, with the 8th house placement, caution to health. So if you have ailments and things like that you need checking, go and get it checked, pay attention to it, high giggle, whereby you can balance that. So with the 8th house placement, you can be getting paperwork in order. You can be getting your finances in order. You may find that you want to change everything. You might find that you're making major plans, and spiritually you're trying to filter out to a degree and do some quality systems to get things organized. Now with the 8th house and the 2nd house, 8th house can also be shared resources. So it's money coming from partnerships, money coming from contracts, tying up bills and loose ends to move forward. And there are major plans for all of us collectively. So wherever we're channeling that energy, we're needing to look at it and try and create that balance. So it's really going to be tying up loose ends, but also spiritually taking stock of where you were before. 8th house placement can also link to all of us collectively with people that have been passed over. Inheritances, birthrights, where we were in family and tribe, what our entitlements were, wills and things to that degree. But it's also the house of healthy codependency. It's what can you depend on. 9 times out of 10 it's you, but it's also within other interconnections and looking and assessing them. Now Pluto asks us, currently it's in Capricorn, it's asking us to look at it in a very accountable sense, what the obligations would be. It's almost like reading the fine print on a document. What are we getting ourselves into? Now, we can't just base it on a hunch energy. We know with the likes and the dislikes, but we also need to get to a place where we can really tap into it and go, okay, do I need to really look at the bigger picture of this? And during the retrograde, you'll have more inkling into what you do and don't like. Especially, it's almost like an egoic purge, because Mars retrograde, Aries and Chiron retrograde, you're more fatigued. Similar to when you're unwell, you do what you need to do and you channel your energy in the right direction. If you're really healing, you're less inclined to do anything. And definitely during Mars retrograde, you're more inclined to eat sugary foods, heavy meaty foods, and digestion-wise is going to be more complicated. So just be cautious with that. The end of Mars retrograde can be more triggersome than the beginning. So if you just bear in mind, during this transit, full moons can be purges. There can be greed, lust, envy coming through, because it is a Venus element. So be careful with those frequencies. So with that, I would say for you guys, Libra, I do feel if you're wanting things and upgrading, you can actually be upgrading. Paying those debts off, really maybe saving it. It can be for tactile goods, it can be for technical items and things to that degree also. Also relating to home and travel. There can be travel coming up for you guys, but this can be via the internet or 3D, but more towards the mid-month and end of the month. Scorpio, you guys have 1st house placement and 7th house placement. You guys are, do I stay or do I go? Now, do I stay or do I go? It's where were you before and how much has the connection changed? You could be in the most beautiful connection, and if it's completely resonating with you, it's all good in the hood. Your perspective on what people need from you and what actually is could be polar opposite. I did actually have that transit where for 2.5 years was like that with the Cancer Capricorn notes. And you do learn a lot about yourself where it's not necessarily that that of what you are doing for people is actually what they expect you to. So it can be quite a flippant understanding of what those interconnections are. Many of you can be assessing what is happening in those areas. You can be making really major changes. This can be taking your relationship to the next level. It could be having, again, let me check this. Yeah, and it caution to do with children at the end of the month, because there could be frequencies of pregnancies and things to that degree. So if you're not wanting to conceive, be careful, because by mid-month to the end of the month, there's possibilities there. But it's definitely tying up loose ends, making peace with relatives, talking to people and seeing a different perspective. Pardon me, but looking at where you are in life. You personally may feel there's something inside you that might be off. And that can just be a belief inside yourself that may be, and again, a purgatory experience. Is there something I've done? Is there something I need to change? You can be really turning over a new leaf and feeling very different. But at the same time, it can be maybe, instead of it being directly just on the outside of you, now it's spiritual and it's on the inside of you. Because the facial value of situations is temporary, but as long as it's happening from within and without, it will completely resonate. Some of you, I do feel, are upskilling your wardrobe. I do feel that there's clothing, there's things that you're wanting to replace. And I feel your vibe has changed as well, and your value system inside of those. It can be where you're becoming more practical, but at the same time, you know, wanting to have finances separate to just the tactile goods. What else am I seeing? Some of you, you may be on the fence to do with a relationship, and I feel you're going to be meditating upon that. Others of you, if you were going through separations and things to that degree, and even leaving contracts and starting new ones, it's close that cycle first. If you've been delaying it, some major occurrences can happen as the month progresses into the following. And there is a pocket window there with conjunction points to Saturn and Capricorn, which can be a little bit gnarly. So trust it, think it, act on it. Aries, you have the energy of Taurus in the second. So similar to Libra, in a sense that you're eating your diet, your health, your hopes and dreams, your desires are coming up. But also feeling almost like, do you have what it takes? Some of you could have frequencies where in a higher heart chakra wounds could be coming up of, you know, and this sounds really bizarre because you guys are a fire sign. I hate it when it does that. It's so strange. That is spooky. I don't know why it does that. Where you could be feeling self-esteem energy coming up. Am I good enough? Is this something I'm not seeing? So, you know, try not to take it too personal. But there can be things where you're looking at it and you also could be updating some of your attire at home, your assets and things to that degree. Also, with your finances and your money, if you spiritually have been very focused on the energy of romance and you feel some of the areas in your life have really not been as balanced, you can be looking at what people are bringing to the table. Is there give and take in the connection? What would need to change? Are you communicating it? And I do feel by the eclipse in Gemini, you know, really getting to a point where you hone in on it and talk about these subjects, because the Scorpion moon is going to ask you to discuss it. The Taurus moon is going to be looking at what you physically have within the situation. And by the time we reach the Gemini moon, it can be energies where you need to communicate your truth. And you do want to be getting into a lighter frequency where you're having more of a social energy, where it's more playful in nature. But some of those frequencies can also be coming up from May and beyond. But it will get quite heavy as we move forward, and you might see where the patterns change. Taurus, yours is your first house and your seventh, similar to both Libra and Aries. Similar situation, apart from the fact with you guys spiritually, again, it could be a lot of psychic downloads. You looking at how you are coming to situations. What have you been doing to move your situations forward? Now, from a monetary point of view, what you do, you might transfer it. The way you're spending money may be transformed. With the 8th house placement, partner's income can reduce or it can increase. And you'll get the yin and yang in this transit. So it depends on how it lands for us. With the money coming in and the money coming out, any plans that you have, it's almost like some of you might be feeling, especially if you're not working currently, you might be thinking of new ways you can generate income. Some of you might be looking at beauty industries and things to that degree. Others of you can be looking at the upskilling inside of it and wanting to go back to an old energy, but the 8th house is asking you to sit there and check whether it resonates with you any longer. Some of you also, I do feel, are tying up loose ends, looking at the past, pulling it all together and putting it into a pile and sort of going, okay, what with all the skills I have, can I physically move situations forward? But some money can be going towards schooling fees, tuition. There can be subjects to do with children, tuition, and stress relating to that. Really trying to hone in on it before we get to the new year and Christmas, for those of you who celebrate Christmas. What else am I seeing with Taurus? And definitely with your relationships, you know, you really dig the mysterious type, I will say that. But I do feel some of you could be really looking at it, and, you know, those of you that are single, it's more inclined to come towards you. Try not to be too triggered, because you can feel something's hidden from you. Pause till Mars direct. Mercury will be going direct pretty soon. And then you're going to have more clarity, but assess it. But there can be large subjects to do with love coming up. Gemini, and I'm hoping my camera won't go flat on me. Although we're having an eclipse in your chart next month, Taurus is landing in your 12th house. Scorpio is in your 6th house. And it's funny because you guys, for the first video that I've started on, I haven't completed it yet, because I'm getting the template done and I'm adding audio to it, with your energy coming through. Now, I've got 2 messages for you guys. How do you, for those of you that are working, how do you feel about it? Where you were when the node shifted in May to where you are now, has something changed in it? Do you need to shake it up a little bit? Are you being playful? Have you put your money where your mouth is? You know, 6th house is the house of hidden enemies. It can be you, or it can be external energy, especially with Scorpio there. So paying attention to that factor. Is there something that's hidden from you? Some of you might be waiting on, you know, a contract going to the next level, and you're sort of getting a gut instinct. Please communicate. So if you feel you need to talk to your boss, your work colleague, your employees, your employers, articulate how you're feeling, and try and keep it very simple. Especially with the nodes being in Gemini, it's like it's highly educational. Sometimes it can be overload of information, but it's really getting it to the point where you can be very direct and, you know, precise about what exactly you're wanting. Some of you may really hate your job, where you're just thinking, look, I really can't stand this job. It's not me. I don't want to go to work. It's making me feel unwell. Others of you might have had a lot of other situations going on, and then the pressure of money and or career. So with that, it can be a purgatory experience. Use it instead of allowing it to abuse you. Again, pivotal things can happen on the day of the moon in Taurus, which is quite unusual. Generally, it can be a few days after, a few days before, but you will find, even if some things had played out at the beginning of the month, with the return of this energy moving forward, and it's not, the planet's not moving forward yet. There's aspects being made to that section. It can happen very quickly. You know, Uranus going retrograde, sudden, no warning. Other planets, when they go retrograde, time delay. Uranus and Taurus, always watch it. So, definitely when it comes to responsibility inside of the things that you're needing to do, look at your contracts, look at the fine print. I'm telling you, read the fine print. Capricorn's there. So you've got Capricorn hitting your 8th, which is still linked to Scorpio. So definitely pay attention to that. Also with your health and, you know, trusting things, read the fine print, see what you're getting into. Assess these details. When it comes to paperwork, taxation, and things to that degree, again, as long as you're showing up and you're being responsible, you'll be fine. Tie up those loose ends prior to the first week in November, and you guys should be fine. Cancer, you guys have, hi Eddie, you have the access of, and feel free for anyone who's lovely enough to timestamp it. Your social group can be changing. Now, some of you might actually have contact from people from the past. Some of you also in a social setting may be looking at different things that you're really wanting to do. You've also got the axis of Scorpio in the 5th house. Now, what am I picking from this? There can be a lot of money going into situations linking to children, romance, what else? Children, you getting things along. So it's taking a toll, but you're trying to recreate that energy. I do feel some of your hopes and dreams are coming up in a sense, and some of the groups that you've been mixing with can really be shifting and changing at the moment. I do feel it's a time where you could hear from these old energies, and you're always interconnected, but a lot of contacts are going to be changing as well. There is this theme of hopes and dreams coming through. It's also the sacrifices that you've made. You could be completing a cycle in that area and moving into a new chapter. So to a degree, it can feel a little bit of a purge. There also can be, I would say, communication to a degree, especially with Venus and Libra. And it may relate to home, family, children, also employment, because we are going to be having energies of Saturn, Pluto making conjunctions in November. So pay attention to that area. Now, when it does come to your hopes and dreams, some of you might be on the cusp about, okay, what do I do? Does this career resonate with me? Do I see this moving forward? And sometimes, you know, with 8th house placement, you're really looking at 2021 because, you know, your 8th house placement is really linking to the area of humanitarian energy as well as, you know, the Aquarius energy. We're going to have both Saturn and Jupiter there. So it's big themes of the things that are shifting around now are for you to be most stable and interconnected to the highest vibration. So if you're going through a purge around that time, and it does link to all the arduous energy you dealt with, you did have the nodes there for 2.5 years. And we are towards the end of the year going to be having a full moon in Cancer. So we're almost out of the woods. I'll be with you the whole way. So we're almost there. That's all I can say. I've got Cancer in my chart. Sagittarius. You guys have the nodes in your chart now. You've got 1st house placement. Okay, we have Taurus in your 6th house. And we have Scorpio in your 12th. What do I make of this one, eh? 6th house, house of hidden enemies. Your work environment, your routine, your health. Definitely with the Taurus energy, with your eating, recreation activities, you know, with the Gemini nodes, and that's for all of us collectively. Looking at diet, looking at health, looking at what we do to deal with our stress levels, our emotions. You know, where we're siphoning our cash onto maybe candy. Because we're home. Looking at those things and going, okay, it's time to bite the bullet because, yes, this new real world we're moving into, we must actually prepare. We have bills, we have, you know, hopes and dreams and goals and collective groups that we're entertaining and working with. Some of you, I do feel with the cusp of the 12th house and the 6th house, be very careful. And it depends on who you are, okay? Any 6th house and 12th house, always be very careful. It can be really spiritual. You can be getting to a point, you have a lot of psychic downloads. Yes, I will grant that. It is technically a very spiritual house. It's linked to crown chakra, so keep your fluid up. It also is linked to the energy of, again, it can be psychic energy, it can be occult, it can be things that you've hidden from yourself, secrets, illicit affairs, house of imprisonment, house of incarceration, and the 6th house. So be careful with your dealings. Be careful with your dealings with anyone of talking, because I'm just seeing a return to sender energy, something that can come back and actually affect you later. With the full moon, tie up your loose ends. Spiritually speaking, if you feel everything has been in alignment and you trusted your intuition, and you do continue in the next 2 weeks to do that, it's going to aid you. Please trust your intuition, because I feel it could be a very positive thing. You guys are Jupiter energy. Yes, you're really challenged with the nodes being in the south node of your first house placement of being Sagittarius. Will be interesting, to say the least. The way you need to look at it is, I need to do something differently. You being a Jupiter energy in nature, it's, you get this hunch energy, you go for it, and it's make or break. It's all in, all out. Right, okay, no, bored of that, I'm moving on. You're the go-go gadget, okay? So with it, you're going to have to apply the energy differently. You may be looking at upskilling. You might be looking at things to the degree of where you want to be in life. Is it based on what your needs are, or for the wider group energy? You've got 7th house placement there. Gemini will be hitting that with the full moon in Gemini, which will be an eclipse. So there can be major changes in your connection, major changes to do with contracts and your socialization. So look, on the higher spectrum of things, you could get all your things in order, and things can be very balanced, and there can be celebrations as well. On the lower spectrum of things for you guys, it can be quite gnarly, because you've got 12th house and you have 6th house, which is the house of hidden enemies, 12th house, place of imprisonment, incarceration, and you have the access of the south node in your first house, which is Sagittarius. So it's, again, what your part in a situation. And being a full moon, it's a purge, or it's a physical ending, and it's a new beginning. So if you choose to leave a job because you feel it's not in alignment with you, you can be moving towards the energy of what would you need to do to get that ball going for the new one. You get the gist. So depending on how it is, if you're needing me to tune into it psychically, feel free to book a reading and we can look deeper. Capricorn. You guys have the 11th house for Scorpio and the 5th house for Taurus. Let me think. Interesting. If you guys are planning something and you're feeling a little bit down, like you're trying to get everything in order, this can be paper, it can be decorations, it can be the finances linking to certain things. If you have some major hopes and dreams, I do feel at the moment you can have a lot of psychic downloads. Hi, Dal. Now, with it, 11th house placement can link to friends, groups, associates, aspirations, wider group energy, and it's generally balanced with the 3rd house of communication, Mercury. You may have better luck as Mercury goes direct. Pretty much I'm saying from the 14th onwards, it's going to be a little bit better. With Scorpio in the 11th, if you feel something's different and, you know, people are thinking, hey, you guys are fine, you're always leveled up, you've got money and people are taking from me, that situation can be changing. I also feel a lot of money may have been going towards, again, expenses for children, expenses and connections. This can even be gambling, I'll just say it, because there is the energy of luck frequency coming through here. So with your social endeavours, if you feel you have been wasting money in particular areas, even if you've been coming correct in all other areas, it may be something that you're meditating upon and looking at. And I do feel there is a lot of finalisation of bills and luxuries and things to that degree. But there's a major, some of you could actually hear that you're pregnant and needing to actually shift around your finances, because Uranus and Taurus, I'm telling you, it's the bringer of surprises. So yes, it could be a brand new romance. It could be the connection going to the next level. With the 8th house placement, maybe the job is not paying as much initially, especially with Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde, for any of you that are working in metal or oil or, you know, military and things like that, during the retrograde it tends to slow down. During the direct, you'll find things will be moving forward and it'll be bang, bang, bang. So if it was sluggish for 8 weeks, it's going to pick up, especially in the next week. Aquarius, okay, you have the access of Scorpio in the 10th and Taurus in the 4th. I feel you guys could be coming to terms with the different energies in home. luxury-related items, eating on the run due to being busy, and, you know, maybe even the sweet tooth. Be careful with the things that you've been consuming, again, because it is health. It's also the indulgent for things at home, and it can be a sudden change in that area. Now, if something at home breaks and you need to repair it, it's going to be replaced with something better. Some of you may be tying up financial things to do with home renovations and things to that degree. And if you can keep on track with it, you will find a lot of what you're manifesting in over the next 6 months is going to be quite large, but it's going to be more in alignment with you. Some of you may wish to move house if you haven't already. And if you feel that's coming up and you're needing to actually make a decision, it can be really pivotal that, yes, in fact, it's a yes and you can be moving. Now, the 11th house can be, especially with Sagittarius there, you've got the South Node. There's something to do with your value system changing. So some of your belief systems, and definitely with your upskilling, you're going to find this is really taking you towards your career, but you need to follow your intuition. Some of you, during this time in Mercury retrograde, moving into next month, you may find that you feel some information is missing. Please trust it. And I do feel you guys may be talking to family members, siblings in relation to do you move? This could be overseas, interstate, and again, it's working as a flight attendant, things to that degree, because it's Sagittarius energy. So again, there is the axis of career, of where you're going and what you're wanting to do. I do feel anything to do with justice and balance. Again, you can be looking at it and trying to work out what industry to move into for those of you that are younger. Those of you that are older, keeping the balance, but also, you know, the work that you do, working so hard, trying to have those luxuries. There can be some things at home that if you haven't got an order, you really need to. And especially when it relates to the financial aspects and finalising of things. Pisces, you have the 3rd house, Taurus, and the 9th house, Scorpio. I feel many of you are not wanting to talk about your hopes and dreams. You're wanting to make it happen. If you guys have wanted to go overseas or, you know, really get to know someone, this can be a romantic interest as well. I don't know why it's doing that. There's absolutely no reason it's doing it. It's probably like my heart. Strange. Yeah, some of you are wanting to go overseas and it's almost like wanting to dream the dream. I'm kind of getting, you might have to look at that differently. There is a way it can be done, but from what I'm getting, looking at the direct finances you have on hand, and moving things around. Again, when it does come to the 3rd house placement, it's a tying up of situations. I'm also feeling that there could be brand new phones that you need to get. Yes, it could be cars, updates on cars, beautifying them, finalising payments on car payments, car loan payments, additions on vehicles. And again, during this time, you may find that you need to buy a physical phone. And again, it will happen at a drop of a hat. But some of the luxuries that you're wanting, you could be having phone calls from, again, previous situations that hadn't finalised, coming to the forefront. Again, when it does come to your money and your health and your beauty, you could be updoing your hair, your makeup, your clothing. Again, pay attention. We do have New Year's Eve. We've got Christmas coming, plus these axes are asking us to clear the deck, to get ready to prepare to move forward. But pay attention to what was happening around May, and it can be current themes that are going to be playing out again. I can't even go further back, but at the moment I'm getting energy. I'm being shown May. Now, 9th house placement. You might be having a lot of downloads to do with your spiritual belief systems. I do feel, in a way, some of you, again, may wish to travel, may be looking at the deeper insight into your life. It's the camera lens. It's never done this before. It wasn't an issue. It's sitting on top of the computer, though, which doesn't help. We're almost at the end. So we have Pisces. We have you guys. Yeah, I'm saying both with your career and with your education. I just feel you guys are moving. I've got a feeling that you are wanting to move. You're wanting to go on a holiday. Some of you don't resonate with where you currently are, and you're feeling like you need to go, but you need to actually take the steps. So if it's something you've been wanting to do and you're wanting to, go and venturing and do that, eat, pray, love, it's really looking at what you would need to do to make that happen. Any questions before I love you and leave you? Tomorrow, if I have time, I will do a twin flame update. Sitting on the desk. Got my Buddha and my cards. Yeah, we're going normal style. Coming from the window above. It's night time. There's no light coming from the window above. No, you may not enter. No. My name is no. My number's no. No. Goodbye. Naughty children. Yes, it could be the overhead light. Well, the overhead light's there. Who knows? Who knows? Mum knows. Anywho, any questions? Again, major themes will be your health, will be money, tying up loose ends, 8th house placement. Is it built on solid ground? Is there something you need to do to change it? Is it financially viable? Some of your pastimes, some of the things you like doing. And again, I'm seeing majorly health. What can you expect from Francis? You'll probably find in the next week, expecting anything from any masculine right now is going to be a huge ask, due to the fact, and I won't take too many because my battery is going to go flat. Potentially because until Mars goes retrograde, there will be, in the end section for this last week, it's going to be quite heavy. So you're better to steer clear and allow that person to really have their purge. The purge will be coming up at the end week, not during the whole process. From the masculines that I work with, at the moment, it's been very spike, down, spike, down. It's now it's going to amp up, and then it should plateau out. Staying warm. Okay, so from Francis, I'll pull a card for Francis. What does Francis need to let you know? Yeah, it's staying warm. Okay. It's come out sideways. Past and present. I'd say on the fence. On the fence at the moment to do with love in general. For Francis. You could be taking a very strong standpoint. It could be in your aura. You're coming through as the Queen of Swords. Again, sword energy. Look, we've got the energy of Libra there at the moment. So, again, knowing to make a judgment, not to mess with you, but really get to the point that they know what they want to do. So, at the moment, they're on the fence. It's Mars retrograde. I'm not surprised. What's in store for me and the full moon? Well, I did not enjoy the Libra moon. Let me tell you that one. I am a Libra. I've got Cancer in my chart. I did not enjoy that Libra moon. It felt like I didn't enjoy it. It didn't feel like a new moon. It felt like a full moon. But it kind of makes sense because we're really sandwiched between Aries and Taurus this month. Yeah. Let's just go Mars retrograde, Aries, and Chiron retrograde, and then add Libra, which is the shadow sign. It's like, what part did you have in it, love? You need to recoup. You're going to have heavy ascension symptoms than it's coming. You're going to be detaching and feeling like it's all over Red Rover. You'll get really tired. I always tell you this happens, Google. Come on. This is the card. Ascension symptoms. I think towards the Scorpio moon, we've got the crow there, and this is when a passionate Red Rover's coming. Which one was the next one? I would say communication. Chickens weren't having it. Yeah, animals will be acting strange at the moment. He called, but I could tell he is... Yeah, very reflective, bit snappy at the moment. The hot and cold during Mars retrograde is not a personal thing. We mustn't make it personal. They can find you anyway. Even if you block them, they can find you, and you only end up unblocking them. Kind of sucks, really. But yeah, but it's if anything, it's a compliment. They're not completely coming in. Why? Because they know you'll hex and beast them. It's like, oh, come on. Are we there yet? And that's even within relationships, to be quite honest. It's like, you know, this transit with Mars retrograde and Aries retrograde and Chiron. It's Scorpio. We're tapping into our psyche. We're tapping into the energy of where we were before. So, you know, with that, masculines and feminines are doing, you know, their internal work very separately. And Tala. Well, you got Scorpio in your chart. I'm kind of feeling for you. You can't get what you want until you know what you want. That's what I'm getting, okay? Because, look, manifestation is so simple. And the cards come out on the side, which does make sense, okay? Manifestation is detachment in knowing it is. When you're wanting something, but you're still looking at that and you're looking at that, it's almost like we feel we've got no power, but that power is always in our choice. Any choice is a choice. Not making a choice is a choice. You have more control than you think, but you just haven't decided what you want to do. Until you can actually kind of hone in on that, it's going to be door closed. Now, you can follow suit and look at it because of the fact that it is hitting your 7th house. You need to come to terms with what was in the past and then make peace with it in order to be in detachment and open for new. If you're willing to walk towards love and it presents itself, that's fine. It's a choice. But you need to stay present in the moment of what you're giving to it, if that makes sense. If you haven't come to terms with the past, you're not moving forward. But a 3D circumstance can be changing a situation. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? Yeah, you're going to be having... Where's my charts? Okay, so at the moment... Where did I write it? I had a whole chart of it. I had 3 charts. Where did I put that paperwork? I've got all the chakras and the crystals and the... If this dies, it dies. So, I do love you all. It's not like I'm ignoring you. I've been working. Okay. Solar plexus coming out quite a bit due to the energy of Aries. We're also going to be having with Neptune going direct on... Where's Neptune? I know you're there. 29th of November. Pay attention to your sacral chakra. With the Gemini moon, throat chakra. It's already coming through for me. It always happens way ahead of time. I'm telling you. And my throat's been fine all day. Especially with Mercury retrograde, a lot of throat chakra, and the Taurus energy is going to be heart chakra. But I'm sort of picking in between. Aries and Chiron is higher heart chakra. So, you know, this can be healing between people. It can be, okay, we thought this was over. What do we need to do to make it better? Mars going direct, people with more clarity, more energy. It's not just all about, hey, I feel unwell. You're more inclined to get that energy moving forward. Yeah, it's fun, eh? I am going to be doing coaching as well to do with self-esteem. You know, and ways you can build it up. I mean, I've been at the bottom of the pit. And healthy self-esteem doesn't mean show pony. It means really looking at, you know, it's lots of things, but we're going to be working on that as well. I'm going to be connecting chakra smoothies. Some is going to be audio, and that's so that I can time manage, get the information to you, connected to numerology. Now, next month will be a vibration 11. This month right now in October is a vibration 10. And again, when you think of it, it's the things that you're moving towards to reach a totality, to reach a whole. This can be unions, connections, marriages, contracts, partnerships. But again, when you have that, it's if you've reached the 10, you've learned a lesson and it's starting a new cycle. It doesn't mean it's going and it's gone, you know, it's just a transformation, so to speak, to the next level. So there's more learnings and integration in that. But I do see, especially with the vibration of 11, it's that return to innocence, that rebirth in connections, the yin and yang for both masculine and feminine. So it will be very interesting moving forward. Many of you who don't have contacts with, you know, love interests and things like that, who follow me on YouTube, you're more inclined to get it. You can get it with the, you know, this last week moving into next month as well, where you can get communication, but just pace yourself till Mercury goes direct. Follow your intuition, gauge situations and proceed forward. Otherwise, feel free, you can book a reading and I can do some coaching with you. So pay attention. I will try and put the videos on Premiere. I've got the template done and I'm connecting audio, and it's going to go section by section into each section so that I can really channel the energy and give it to you. And then I will come to you as well for a separate reading, and that will be the tarot reading side of things. But this will be the transit for the first half of the month, and it is section by section. Health and wealth. Oh no, what is it? Career and money. Your health, your chakras. Romance for couples and singles. I'm still going to discuss it, but you know, the card reading will be separate. I'll do a deep romance read and the twin flame reads. So I'll talk to you soon. I love you all. Thank you for continuing to sub. I appreciate it. I haven't gone anywhere. I don't intend to. I'm building extra content. Thank you for the patience for all of you that follow me. I do appreciate it. I haven't gone anywhere. I love you all. Burning the midnight oil. Going grey doing it. And yeah, triggers galore. So, I mean, I'm in it too, guys, okay? We're not like, we're all in this together. But I will come to you hopefully tomorrow morning and I will do a twin flame update, and then I'm getting on to the videos, or I'm going to be late. And I really don't want to be late for your videos. I love you. Take care. Thank you for subbing. I'll see you soon.